News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Wednesday on Wall Street, which was shaken by evidence of division at the Federal Reserve over the future of monetary policy. That sent stocks lower. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 ended the day pretty much flat. NASDAQ gained 131 points. The Dow lost 74 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.06% and the 2-year yield at 3.6%. And a big day for earnings. Meta's third quarter revenue was a beat. Revenue for the quarter ending in September was $51.2 billion. Analysts were expecting $49.6 billion, but initial stock reaction is negative. Shares now down about 5% in late trading. Alphabet reported earnings per share for the third quarter, beating the average analyst estimate. Shares are climbing about 3% in the post-market for Alphabet. Microsoft reported revenue that beat the average analyst estimate, but shares of Microsoft are about 4% lower now in the post-market. Fortune is reporting that MasterCard is in late-stage talks to acquire crypto and stablecoin infrastructure startup Zero Hash for between $1.5 billion and $2 billion. Now let's get into the Fed decision, which is cutting rates by a 0.25 percentage point and will stop shrinking its portfolio of assets on December 1st. Fed Chair Jay Powell says a rate cut in December is not a done deal.
In the committee's discussions at this meeting, there were strongly differing views about how to proceed in December. A further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion. Far from it.
And that is what helped move markets lower. Powell says, in fact, the government shutdown could have an effect on December's meeting.
What do you do if you're driving in the fog? You slow down. So that could or could not. I don't know how that's going to play into things. There's a possibility that it would make sense to be more cautious about moving. I'm not committing to that. I'm just saying it's certainly a possibility that you would say we really can't see, so let's slow down.
Now, there were two dissenting votes today. Kansas City Fed President Jeffrey Schmidt voted for no change in rates, and Stephen Myron called for a 50 basis point cut. Bob Michael with J.P. Morgan Asset Management says Chair Jay Powell is losing his grip on the Fed.
I don't think it was at all surprising. The two dissents could have been a bit more interesting. I think Myron could have gone for 75 basis points. That would have been fun.
Michael says the next Fed chair should be someone who is more persuasive, and he thinks that person is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. As President Trump prepares for his meeting with China's leader Xi Jinping, he's suggesting that he's open to providing China with access to NVIDIA's Blackwell AI processor. Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall.
President Trump apparently going to bring up NVIDIA's Blackwell chips with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Of course, this would be very good for the company, which has been trying to regain Chinese market access since 2022.
Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall reporting from South Korea. Trump's meeting with Xi is set to take place at 10 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. President Trump's comments plus AI optimism are increasing gains for NVIDIA, which is now the first $5 trillion company. Empower Retirement Chief Investment Strategist Marta Norton says the term bubble is getting thrown around right now.
The sentiment has to get far more stretched. I mean, when we take a look at how people are behaving, we're all talking about valuation. There's a lot of awareness to the risk here. And I think we'd really need to see that risk awareness disappear for us to truly enter bubble territory.
Hear more from Marta Norton on the Bloomberg Surveillance podcast. NVIDIA has seen a gain of 50% this year, and the stock is single-handedly responsible for about 1/5 of the S&P 500 index's advance in 2025. Now, Fiserv's stock suffered a record plunge after that company slashed its outlook for full-year earnings and unveiled third-quarter results that confounded analysts. CEO Mike Lyons says he discovered Fiserv was not going to be able to keep its promises to investors after he undertook a broad-based review of the business in recent months. Fiserv shares lost 44% in regular trading. Now, SNAP benefits are becoming a key issue in the government shutdown stalemate. Nutritional benefits for 41 million Americans are set to dry up in 3 days. That has not swayed either party from giving in as that Saturday deadline approaches. Republican Congressman Chuck Fleischman tells Bloomberg it will take more action from government workers' unions to end the shutdown.
The pressure from groups that traditionally support Democrats, you're going to start seeing more and more people call.
You can hear more from Congressman Chuck Fleischman on the balance of power Power podcast. The government shutdown is in its 29th day, and the FAA has issued a ground stop at Newark Airport, citing staffing issues. Air traffic controllers across the country missed their first paychecks this week because of the government shutdown. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.